And it was actually Jennifer's brilliant idea to do that, and I said, no way, you're kidding me, and there may have even been a swear word in there, when I thought about how possibly we could put those two together. But as always, she's very inspirational, and she thought it would take less time than I did, and it did take a little more time than she thought, but not as much as I thought originally. So,
Still worth it though.
it's still very worth it.
Thank you. Yes, you're welcome.
Everything is in this one manual. What I'm going to do right now is go through the first several pages, bringing us up to week 1. But just look at the side. It's, it's kind of obvious here, week 1, week 2, week 3. So it talks through each of the weeks. And the way it's set out is in most of the weeks, there's a little bit of an introduction to that week. And then there are copies of the PowerPoint slides and notes. And the notes are the notes for you as the instructor. So everyone has different styles, but as you teach this class, you can either teach the class going through the book and having the slide show up here, or does everyone know how to put their computer into note mode, right?
What?
Let me just show you.
Oh, leave it. That what meant? No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm just going to show that. So you see what's up on the screen,
Yes.
right? And then here, I see things differently. So I have my notes in here, so I could stand here and look like I'm really smart, but really I'm cheating and reading notes. So just a little, literally. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. But so I'm going to go to the first couple of pages in that instructor manual. The very first page is instructor guide. This summarizes a lot of what Jennifer talked about in terms of where RPC Plus came from, the 2 different curriculums that was involved, what some of the research was. So just a quick summary of that is on that very first page, just for you to reference back in the future. The next page is a table of content, pretty straightforward. The next page, facilitator information. So this is the part that I talked about a few minutes ago around make this your own. My hope is today that you'll write all over this manual. There's stickies on the table if you want to write notes and put it in the manual, that this is going to be your guidebook for teaching the course. So please, use that in a way that works for you. Obviously, the course is set up to teach in a certain way. Everyone has their own style here. Please feel free to adapt the course in a way that works for you. The PowerPoint slides, which I'll give you in a few minutes, are editable, which means if you would like, when you teach the class, to add your own name in there or add information about your own district and resources, you can certainly do that. So feel free to do that as you're teaching the course. My contact information is at the end of this page if you need that. Next page, I'll just briefly talk about this. This is especially helpful for those of you who taught the class with Placement Stability Project or with myself in the past couple of years. And so this is a little bit of a difference about how the funding, really not funding, but how graduation will work. So in the past, each week folks sent me their attendance list and then we kept track of that. From this point forward, because the grant is over, if you're teaching the class, you'll decide, you'll let us know who graduated from the class. Our thinking is that people need to come to 8 out of 10 classes to graduate. You can make that decision. You teach the 10-week course, you send me an email and you say, Amy, these 7 people graduated from the class, and we'll keep that in our database. So in the future, someone says, hey, who took the class in Hartford? We'll keep that database and people can check back in on that. What we will continue to do after the Placement Stability Project, we'll offer at least one more of these trainings, probably in the late spring of 2019. I will remain available to consult with folks. If you have questions about how to run the class or different things that you want to do with it, you can certainly reach out to me. We'll continue, after each individual class, we send out an email that summarizes what happened in the class, links to videos, things like that. We'll continue to do that piece. Periodically, we'll send a graduate to anyone who's graduated from RPC Plus will get a graduate newsletter. And we'll continue to keep a calendar of classes that are happening. So if St. Albans is having a class, you let me know. I'll put it on our website. I'll send out email blasts around the state so folks know the St. Albans class is starting in March. So for instance, that's that page. Okay, next page. PowerPoint slides. I think I talked through that enough. Oh, the one complaint I have about this class is about the PowerPoint slides. They're really wordy. If I had another 6 months, I would have edited them even more. I did do some edits of them. So be aware of that, especially if you have a group of folks who maybe reading is not a strength. That some of the slides are just words after words after words. You can flip through some of them more quickly or skip some of them if you're able to deliver the content in another way. So just something to think about. There are videos that are used throughout the course. There's been some new videos for those of you who have taken the class or taught the class before. Last summer, Jennifer and myself and a bunch of kids got together and we did some caregiver videos. So you see examples of caregivers doing a great job and a not so great job with preschool children, school-age children, and teenagers. So those videos are interspersed throughout here, so those are available too. Speaking of videos, I just want to talk a little bit more about technology for a second. Did anyone see me scrambling around here this morning trying to figure out the Wi-Fi? Right? I promise you, when you teach this class, there will be some technology snafu. So if you're teaching this class, do as much as you can ahead of time. And I did tons of stuff ahead of time, and we still had this problem. So check your computer. Make sure you have all the different cords or adapters you have. If you have an IT department, get them to come and help you set things up ahead of time. It'll be so worth it to have that done ahead of time, to do some dry runs, because it's horrible if you're teaching a class and all of a sudden you can't get any of the videos to work. So just, it's really worth your time to do that piece. Children's group. We're going to talk about, Caleb's going to talk about the children's group in a minute. I want to go through some other things first. But some districts have been able to run a concurrent children's group, either as a kind of just a respite piece or a more therapeutic group. So we'll talk about that in a minute. The powerful connection, this piece around group follow-up that happens with folks. Some districts have been able to actually take that positive energy and feed those folks into foster parent support groups, or have started some other gatherings of folks together that's been really powerful. So if you want to tap into that energy, that can be a really helpful thing. Oh, Facebook. How many people are on Facebook? How many people are on the Vermont Trauma Lens? If you're on Facebook, Vermont Trauma Lens now has 2,030 people from all over Vermont, some out of Vermont, who are interested in resilience and trauma. So join up for the sign up for the Vermont Trauma Lens Facebook page. We also have a closed RPC Plus page. So anytime someone graduates from the class, they're then allowed into the RPC Plus page. So that's on Facebook as well. That's on Facebook as well. Yes.
Cool.
The other thing that's been a great tradition in a lot of classes is on the last day to have a potluck. It can be a really nice fun thing to do. So, okay, next page, outline for 3. Any questions about what I've talked about so far? Comments? And certainly those of you who have taken the class or taught the class, please jump in as the day goes on about other tips or things that didn't work so well and feel free to do that. Start the class. Really, really key that you are very welcoming, especially on the first day. A lot of, especially caregivers, they're busy, they're tired, they just had to drag 3 kids all the way to your office to have the class. So to try and create a welcoming environment is really important. Attendance sheets, you all will have a digital attendance sheet. You have people sign that. That's one way they can help us with the graduation piece. Each class, there's a slide that has a check-in question, a really helpful way to bring people together. So there's a suggested question on the PowerPoint that you'll see as we go through the days. You certainly can do a different one if you'd like. Word of caution around check-in. you want it to be meaningful, but you don't want it to last a half an hour. So, one thing that I often do that I forgot to do today is I say to folks, we've got a full agenda today. We've got a lot of stuff to do. Can I have your permission to move us along if we get behind schedule? Yes, if you say something, so first of all, do I have your permission to move us along if we're going?
Yes.
Okay. So doing something like that can be helpful. And the first couple of weeks, if you say to people, remember, we only have a minute for check-in, so if folks could keep their comments to 1 or 2 sentences, that would be great. If you enforce that in the first week or two, folks will follow along with that over time, because they want to get to the material too. So a check-in question is a great way to bring people together. The other piece that's included in every single week is some kind of mindfulness or self-regulation activity. And that's a new piece that we added here. So each week there's a different mindfulness activity. They're great for people taking the class. It's also stuff they can bring home to their kids, so they can adapt that to their kids. If you have a great mindfulness activity that you love to do, go ahead and substitute it. There's no reason you can't do that. And then there's the class presentation that happens. And then each week, there's also a homework assignment, and it's not a complicated assignment. It's often something like, notice what your child's strengths are this week, or spend 5 minutes a day playing with your child this week. So there are those kind of things. And then we also always have a checkout question, and again, it's another time you need people, it needs to be meaningful but brief. So a common question that I would ask, and it's written up here, is what are your intentions for this week? Or what are your hopes for this week? So it pulls people out of any of the hard content we maybe were talking about, gets them being open and hopeful and inspirational towards the future. And often what happens is when they come back the next week, they'll all by themselves say, remember last week I said I was going to do this? Either they say they did it or they didn't do it. So it's a really nice piece. I'd love to hear from anybody in the room who's taken the class or taught the class about this piece or things that stood out to you about check-in or check-out, or anyone have comments about that? Yes.
I want to say it helped bond the class too, because then as people were checking in and checking out, then you were like, oh yeah, you know, and being able to empathize and connect in that way, which really helped build the atmosphere of the class.
Yes, definitely.
I feel like the checkout also helps hold kind of participants accountable and help hold each other accountable for, did you actually do kind of that homework piece? And they actually, like, we as facilitators also set our intentions, so they would, you know, did you guys complete your intentions for the week as well? So it was really a nice way to help it become more of a community discussion, even though we had two facilitators to make it more communal in nature.
And were you saying you got the facilitators checked in and checked out too?
Yes.
And I think that can be really helpful. As a facilitator, you want to find that balance, right? Because I don't know about you, but I got a lot of stuff going on with my kids at home, and I could talk for half an hour about my kids, right? I don't want to do that, because that takes away from the group, but it's very valuable that I share something about what's going on, and everyone has their own feelings about self-disclosure, that's fine, but it can be helpful if you're the facilitator and you're sharing some of what's going on for you. Yeah.
I thought the checkout helped you to actually carry home the lesson rather than leaving it in the notebook and then opening it for the next lesson, the next class.
Yeah, absolutely, like a transition between one to the other, right? Anyone else about any of that?
Yeah, I would just agree that I think the connectedness really comes from that check-in, and one of the big strengths I've seen in our St. Albans groups is the connection between participants and that bond that forms, and those times were invaluable for that.
Thank you. Question? Next is a checklist for each individual class. I'm not going to guarantee this is every single thing on here. I tried really hard to come up with a good list, but as I talked about, the technical supplies are really important. Each class has a list of specific supplies you need for that class. It can be really helpful to get those things ahead of time. There's more details about this. It is recommended, many folks who teach this class also provide a meal somewhere in there. So you got to think about, it's one more thing to think about, but you got to think about that. If I'm getting pizza, what are they going to eat it off of? Did I remember to get napkins? Do I have drinks? How am I going to deal with that? So just another thing for you to think about. The next page, someone asked about the fundamentals. Jennifer was talking about the online modules. Here's a summary of those online modules right here in the manual for you. It tells you it's there. And I think, and the link is at the bottom of the second page about how to take those online modules, so that's there for you too.
Can
Uh,
you,
Yes?
it looks like maybe some people aren't seeing that. That's before you get into the PowerPoints?
Oh, go back before week 1. Go back another page or two.
Oh, here. You're on page 9, right?
Yes, page 9 and,
Is where the link is.
yes. Thanks, Amber. So that's that piece. Caleb, would you mind talking about, the thumb drive?
The manuals for what he's talking about.
And the thumb drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we have more things to pass out. Send your representative over.